Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rahak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, teaching His word in truth and sincerity. I'm back with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And today I'm going to go into a lesson on how Esau Edom deceived the nations. The so-called white man. How did he deceive the nations? Well, he did it through iconoclasm, right? Iconoclasm is the desecration of images, right? So we understand in Europe, there was a time where Jake was ruling. It's called the what is it called? The Middle Ages, I believe. It's called the Middle Ages, and or they call it the Dark Ages. And this is where Jake was ruling parts of Europe. And what Esau Edom did was, once he came out of that low state, because at that time he was subject to Jake, right? He was subject to these different empires, the Byzantine Empire, you had the Moorish Empire. Well, with Esau Edom, when he came out of that low state, he started to desecrate the images or destroy the images of Jake that was ruling in that time, right? And that's how we got a so-called white man as the savior, in the angels, and a lot of important figures of the Middle Ages were turned to white people, right? So we're going to go to a few scriptures, right? But first we're going to go into that word iconoclasm and show you what it means, right? So we got iconoclasm. It says, is the deliberate destruction of religious icons, monuments, or sacred images, typically driven by religious or political motives, right? So icon means image, of course, and clasm means to destroy, right? So to destroy images. And we all know Caesar Borgia, who was I think he was the son of a pope. I think it was Pope Pope Gregory the Sixth, if I'm not mistaken. His son, Caesar Borgia, whose image was painted as Yahweh Shai, right? I believe it was Leonardo da Vinci who painted his image as being, the savior, right? So this is where the iconoclasm comes in. And then, like I said, a lot of desecration of images around that time. So you had a lot of Moors and a lot of Jake that were ruling, where they would just paint over the image or desecrate the actual images, and they will put their own image up as those images or those people that ruled at that period of time. So people don't know that it was actually a time where Jake was ruling in Europe, right? That's why they call it the Dark Ages, right? Because that's when Jacob was ruling, right? So let's go to Revelations 12, and let's see. It says Revelations 12 and 9. It says, okay, let's not get that yet. Let's go to Revelations 20 first, and then we can go there. Revelation 20, and this is 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Right, this angel is Yahweh Shai, and he had that key, or the authority, or the power to lock up who? Esau Edom, right? Key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. That chain represents bondage, right? Because Esau Edom was not the head at that time. He really was in servitude to Jake at that time, right? And he was in a low state. He was in the caves. He was living like a damn animal. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Right, so that's the 1,000-year period that Esau Edom was in that low state. So that 1,000-year period, which is called pretty much the Middle Ages. It was the time where Esau Edom was bound, right, or he was in that low state. So it says he laid hold on the dragon and that old serpent, right? So we know the dragon is who? The dragon is the Roman Empire, right? Esau Edom was the ruler of the Roman Empire, right? You had Herod, whose father was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Antipater the Idumean, right? So the rulers of um, the Roman Empire were Edomites, right? It says that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Right? So Esau Edom was what? The adversary of all that is good. Going back to Esau and Jacob, right? He was the profane man who sold his birthright. Also, when you read First Thessalonians, right, he tries to exalt himself above God, right? So he's an adversary to the Most High. He's an adversary to all that is righteous. It says, he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. So we understand that Esau Edom, he's a deceiver, right? He's a deceiver. He is going to go out and deceive the nations after that 1,000-year period, and we're going to show you how he did it. It says, we pretty much broke it down through iconoclasm, but we'll go and expound further. So it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed for a season. Right, so he was loosed for a season. He was loosed after you got the Renaissance period. That's when he was loosed. That's when he started to revamp his culture, his architect, his philosophies on the earth. Right. That's what it says. The Roman Empire, or the dragon, whose deadly wound was healed. Right, it was healed because he was able to get out of that dark state that he was in, right? From being in the dark ages, and he was able to revamp his ideologies and his culture on the earth. It says, and let me just go down, because I'm gonna skip down, because we understand this is not in chronological order. So it says in number 7, Revelation 20:7, it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and he shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together, to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Right, so he went to go deceive the nations. What through the iconoclasm, through his philosophy, through his way of life, he deceived the nations. Now it says Gog and Magog, which we understand that last war is going to be with Russia, and coalition of nations is going to be with Russia, that's going to shoot off missiles at Babylon the Great. And that's where Revelation 18 comes in, where it says Babylon is fallen, is becoming a habitation of devils and every foul spirit, and every hateful bird, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, let me just read it real quick. I'll come right back. It says Revelations 18, and I'm gonna start at 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. It's fallen. It became the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right. So this is the results of Babylon warring with Gog and Magog, and not only that, you had Yahushai and the chariots that came down, and this is a future event that will happen, where the chariots of Yahweh Bashim Shai will be zapping and destroying Esau Edom's armies. Right, all the armies that try to subdue Yahweh Shai will be destroyed. Right, so America Babylon the Great will be destroyed. Right, but that's what pretty much Revelation 20 is going into, Gog and Magog. Now it's funny because the Russians, just maybe like a year ago, had released or opened the vaults and showed you how the images of how the biblical figures looked, right? And they show them as dark skin, or so-called Jakes, right? So-called black men who were representing, or who were depicted as the important biblical figures, right? So showing you that, before the Europeans came in and desecrated and changed the images, they knew that the people of that time and the important biblical figures were so-called black. Well, they knew this, but they changed the images, and like I said, iconoclasm. They changed the images, they changed the depictions, they desecrated the statues and things so that we wouldn't know, or the world wouldn't know what was going on. there's a saying that the victors rewrite history, you know, or the victors write history. You write history, right? So they pretty much told their own story, which was a lie. It wasn't really true, but this is the MO of Esau Edom, right? He's the deceiver. So the way he deceived people was through telling people that he was the people of the scriptures, and so-called black people were just Hamites and things of that sort, just lied, and he made the people believe his lie, right? But that's one of the powers of Esau or Satan, is that power of subtlety, to deceive people, just like he was able to deceive Eve, right? So pretty much that's where I want to get, in Revelation 20th chapter, right, going into how he went to go deceive the nations, right? So let's go into the classic scriptures. Let me see what I would bring up first. Let's go to Job 13. Job 13 and 4, it says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." Right, so let's go into that word forge. This is what Esau Edom did. He forged lies. And when you look at the word forge, and when I look at the word forge, I always look at it as something that takes time, right? Something that's crafted, it's crafted on a level of perfection. And when you look at back, like we said in Genesis, the serpent, he was very crafty. He was very cunning, right? So his lies wasn't just something you can, uncover. He crafted them so well that it deceived Eve, right? So let's go to the blue letter. Let's see. I think it's on the wrong one. What's going on? Here we go. Let's go to the blue letter. Job 13 and 4. And let's go into that word forger. Right? Forger to Paul.
Strong's H 2950. Tafal.
It says to smear, plaster over, stick, glue, primitive root, properly to stick on as a patch, figuratively to impute falsely, forge, sew up. Let's see. Let's go down. It says figuratively to frame lies, devious false things upon my iniquity, that increaseth my sins with false charges. Compare a very similar passage. All right, so actually, let's just go to we can go to the definition of forger definition. Forgery. Forgery is the crime of falsely making, altering, or imitating a document, signature, or artwork with a specific intent to deceive or defraud. Right. So he's a forger of lies. Right. But it says artwork. Right. Because like I said, one of the main things that he forged was the image, right, of Yahushua Mashiach, and and not only Yahushua Mashiach, but the angels, the Lord himself, right, Yahweh himself. He made him a white man. He made the angels white and the white babies. He made all the apostles and the prophets, all of them white, right? So this is why we believe, or our people believe for a long time, that a lot of the biblical figures were white, right? But like it says, a forger is somebody who, what does it say? It says alters or imitating a document, signature, or artwork with specific intent to deceive or defraud. So that's what the iconoclasm or the Renaissance period is about. A part of it was about falsifying certain images, what does it say? Artwork or artwork with the specific intent to deceive, right? To deceive the people through the artwork, right? Through the artwork, through the desecration of the images, they was able to set up their own likeness, as the people of the people of the book, which now we understand that that's a lie. A lot of that was a lie. They lied about a lot of stuff. They continue to lie about a lot of things now, but of course the scriptures talk about in Luke the 12th chapter that all the things that are going to be all the things that were hid will be uncovered, right? So in the last days, the Lord, through his spirit, is uncovering all the lies of Esau, Edom, right? So he's a forger of lies. He wanted to go to deceive the nations, right? And he did that for a period of time. But now that covering cast that he put, the lies that he put over the people are now being uncovered. I think we'll get that also. But let's get, before we get that, Lord willing, I'll try to go back to that if I don't forget. Let's go and get Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. So now let's go into that word covereth. Let's see what we can get from there. Job 9:24. We're going to that word covered. Covereth, kasa. To cover, to conceal, to hide. To cover, it says to cover, to clothe, to cover, to conceal, to cover over, spread over, to cover, overwhelm, to be covered, to be clothed, to be cover oneself, clothe oneself. It says fill up hollows by implication, to cover, for clothing or secrecy, clad, self-clothes, clothe, conceal, cover, flee, to hide, right? To hide, right? So he said cover up the faces of the judges. He hid the true images. He covered up the true images. He concealed the true images, right? He concealed the images of the judges. He concealed it, right? Through his iconoclasm, through his forgery. Right? This is how Esau Edom was able to deceive the nations, right? It's a part of his ability to deceive the nations, was able to go and desecrate images and falsify images, right? Let's go into that. Isaiah 25:7. Isaiah 25:7. And he will destroy in the mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So let's go again and go get to this word veil. Let's go to the word veil. Isaiah. And this is how you link Esau, the white man, with Esau Edom, with the serpent, the devil, Satan, right? That's how you link everything together. It makes perfect sense when you look at it. Let's go into that word veil. It says veil says pouring libations, molten metal cast, image, drink, up, offering, libation, molten metal, molten image, molten gods, web covering, veil, woven stuff, right? So it's a web or lies that are woven together, weaving something together is very intricate, right? So this is the Esau Edom. He comes with these lies and these he came up with this the lies and the forgery. He came up with it. He webbed these things together where it made sense, right? Right. So he webbed those lies together. That's Esau Edom. And now the lies are being uncovered because the covering cast that he put over all the nations, right, are uncovered. And like I said, the images are just one component, but Esau did a lot. He did a lot of deception in the way he deceived the nations, right? He did a lot of deception. The iconoclasm is just one major thing that he did, and the reason why a lot of people think the way they think is because Esau Edom destroyed these different images, right? There's another scripture, and I think it's maybe it's first or second Maccabees, where it talks about how the heathen opened up the book and painted the likeness of their images, roughly paraphrasing. Right, so Esau Edom been forging these different images, whether it's false gods, whether it's switching images out to make them look like something that's not. Right, Esau Edom is known for doing these type of things. Right, so and that's one way, or that's a major way I would say that Esau Edom deceived the nations. But I just wanted to do a quick lesson and going into that. Lord willingly, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Until next time, Lord willingly, Shalom.